Hey ladies and gentlemen, Adrian here for Digital Dojos. Today, this video is going to be going over the state of USB-C in 2017. Now really, more so just kind of a rant of the state of USB-C in 2017. Um, Now, here's the thing. I was an early adopter of this guy right here, the MacBook Pro. This is the one that came out in 2016, 15-inch, so it has the 4 USB-C ports, Thunderbolt 3, whatever you want to call them. And that's it, right? It has a headphone jack, and that's it. So it was a big, bold move on Apple's part. It was an even bigger move on my part to be an early adopter and buy this. But when I moved out to San Francisco, I needed a new laptop, so I decided to go with, being that early adopter, which comes with the risk in itself on any product, right? I understood the trade-offs. I understood the whole dongle gate adapter idea to an extent, right? I didn't think it would be as bad as it turned out to be. But Apple tends to do this thing, right? Apple tends to do this thing where they try to push the agenda of technology forward, from the floppy drive to the CD drive, from the CD drive to going completely digital, 30-pin connector to lightning connector, whether it's to make more space in the iPhone or to create more space in their hardware or to push forward a better to push forward a better technology, to push forward a faster technology. You know, they've done this time and time again in standardizing technologies. But I think never has it been more critical and never has it been more apparent than it has with USB-C. They did the same thing with a headphone jack, and there's always a pain point, there's always a pain period, and then you get over it, right? You get over that hump because as much as people hate it, Apple does kind of push the standard for others to do the same. Google's been doing it with their phones, other manufacturers have been pushing USB-C, and the market responds to that. We always see that time and time again. It's just with USB-C, it's a little bit different than those previous iterations and previous changes just because of how much the external world still runs on older hardware and a lot of different situations and scenarios. Now, I'm a unique use case, right? Outside of working here from home, outside of running my own businesses online and my online ventures, I also work part-time for a startup here in San Francisco in the Bay Area, kind of like IT consulting. So I do IT consulting for startups in the area, to be more specific. So I'm seeing different setups every day. I literally go to different startups and different clients, big, medium, small, all the time. And I see different situations and scenarios for 2 of those clients right now. They're just doing a full transition to these MacBooks, so I'm helping them go along that whole process. And let me tell you, it is exactly as I described a process because there's a lot of adapters involved. There's a lot of new cables. It's a lot of money, to be honest, to do this transition. But again, it's becoming the standard because Apple's not selling the older MacBooks now and pushing people towards these devices more so towards USB-C. Now, from where I work, from at home, my setup, I have everything worked out just right. I bought the right adapters. I bought my USB-C to HDMI that works for my 4K display, and I had to make sure that it was a 60 hertz supported one because I got the wrong ones before, and those didn't support 60 hertz. If you want dual monitors, you gotta buy the adapters or multiple adapters to do that. You gotta leave a port open for your charging, of course, and then for your standard devices, you need things like this, USB-C to USB. So my standard setup, I got it all working the way I wanted. Yes, you can build a setup from scratch where it's much more easier, right? You can get the USB-C docks, you can get the USB-C hubs. If you have a USB-C monitor, it's even easier. Everything can literally fit and go through one port. And that is the magic and the future of USB-C, right? That's where the true convenience lies, the day where we can just take 1 or 2 cables and everything just hooks up through that, right? That's the ideal USB-C dream, but that's more money, that's a lot more hidden costs, and that's great for your situation and your scenario. For me, when I step outside into the real world and the external, again, I know it's a unique use case. I'm walking into offices and buildings that have all sorts of different hardware, right? So some of my clients have 4K Dell displays. Some of my clients have the Apple Cinema displays or the Apple Thunderbolt displays. And guess what? You need an adapter to connect to those. To connect your Apple MacBook Pro to the Apple Thunderbolt displays, you need a Thunderbolt 2 to Thunderbolt 3 adapter. You need, USB-C to HDMI adapters, and sure, like I carry those around in my like backpack, in my tech bag. I have the charger. By the way, if you lose this, you got to pay, they're like 60 plus bucks plus another 20 for the USB-C to USB-C cable. I have, a USB-C to Lightning port cable because that's how I can charge the only way I can charge my phone on my MacBook is through one of those cables or through using an adapter like this from Apple to connect like devices like this. And yeah, that's exactly how it looks like. You got a daisy chain devices, and you get this whole kind of entanglement. Um, I mean, needless to say, like this is just a ton of stuff I have to carry around, and God forbid I forget it, because right now in this situation where not everybody's on those adapters, when I walk into these offices, not everybody's gonna have like a USB-C charger or a USB-C adapter. Um, Again, different situation for me, but for these conference rooms, for a lot of stuff that people and businesses already have in place to adjust for these USB-C, MacBooks, you have to get a whole bunch of more cables and adapters, and there's just a lot of hidden costs there, and it's a huge pain point. And then once everything standardizes, I mean, not to say that there are USB-C monitors out there. There are USB-C devices that you can buy to make it quote unquote easier, but you got to pay for that, right? And I just think right now, it's such a huge hassle just for businesses on the B2B scene, and just walking out there and if I want to connect to a projector, if I want to connect to whatever, like, it's such a hassle. I need different adapters, different things. I need to be prepared for every kind of way or which scenario. That's kind of a problem, and especially in my field, in my career. Now, again, not everybody's doing that. Not everybody's walking into different setups all the time. Most people will probably just stay with their standard setup, and they don't venture out and work with other monitors or equipment. So the laptop does them fine, and it works. But I just think that this is something that, while the MacBook will push this agenda for Macs, I don't know what's really going to push that agenda for PCs so much. I'm sure there's PCs out there that have USB-C, but I don't see this becoming the standard right away. Even in 2018, I think it'll get better, but I still don't see it becoming the wide adopted standard for a while, where we see that dream USB-C setup. Yes, phones are already adopting USB-C, and there's cables and that, which are the other that are available, but I still think in the bigger picture, it's still a hassle, it's still a pain, and it's one that's going to continue to be until this standard fully shifts, and who knows how much time that will take. So just my thoughts, my opinions on it. I do think it's great technology. I do I understand the benefits, data transfer wise, all of that, but it's not. If the small things, right? If they put one port, if they even included like a USB-C to standard USB adapter, or something as simple as that when you buy these MacBooks, I think would go a long way. Those tiny things like that would really go a long way, versus me having to buy a bunch of different third-party adapters and cables and so on and so forth. I'm thankful for the third party, I am, but companies like Satechi and Cable Matters and Anker, really thankful for the equipment they make, but it's just a pain that I have to go outside to buy these type of stuff, where Apple sometimes may or may not even support it or have it themselves. So yeah, anyways, love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Are you on USB-C devices? Do you have a phone? Do you have a MacBook? Do you have a laptop that has USB-C? What are your thoughts on it? And when do you think, there goes my charger. I guess I'll have to buy another one of those soon. When do you think this becomes further adopted? How long do you think till this becomes kind of the standard? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, for more content, head over to digitaldojos.com. And as always, thanks for watching.